Well, hello and welcome to Bowtie Life, where we talk mostly about life in the garden. I'm Bowtie David. We live in Destin, Florida, zone 9B, now with the new maps. Today, we are going to be making a recipe with our SunChokes. And it's right here. You're going to get to see how it's made and what goes into it. It's kind of a special recipe for me. And you'll find out why here in a little bit. Coming up, we're going to be doing a whole lot of seed starting in just the near future, and those videos will be coming out like crazy. So be sure to subscribe to Bowtie Life on YouTube so you don't miss a thing. And for those of you who have subscribed, thank you so much. I'm thankful for your subscriptions. I'm glad you're watching the videos. We have had a really nice uptick in the watching time on the videos, and it is really affecting the growth of the channel. And I so appreciate all of you who have subscribed and all of you who watch. Hi, I'm Bowtie Dave. So sunchokes, of course, come out of the garden a bit dirty, and they're really easy to clean up. Now, they do have a little bit of skin on them, but it is a very, very thin, tender skin, so you don't have to peel them at all. And this is just a stiff bristled brush that we've used in our kitchen for, I don't know, a couple decades. And I am brushing all the dark spots. Like if there's something on there that doesn't brush out, I'll go ahead and pick it off. We can also cut those up with a knife, cut those out with a knife. But they come very clean, despite all the soil that was on them before. And speaking of soil, that's actually a really good way to store these, because it is an acceptable method to get like a 5-gallon bucket and store these in layers of soil that they grew in, and they will actually keep a very long time. Now, what I'm doing here, I'm getting ready. This is Sunday afternoon, February 11th, and on Tuesday, 2 days from now, so on the 13th, we have an event that we're going to. It's the health class I told y'all about in the previous video where we harvested these and expanded the beds. But it's a health class. It is just really good information. It's at our church, the Destin Church of Christ, at 6:30 on Tuesday nights. And it's open to the public, so if you're local, feel free to stop by. But a lot of times we have food, and so this time I'm actually going to be providing sunchokes. Now, I've mentioned before, and I'll mention again, sunchokes are a very healthy substitute for potatoes. And they taste just like them if you roast them in a can. Is that what we're doing? We're roasting them, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, Mrs. Bowtie is supervising, so we won't be burning down the house or poisoning anyone. But sunchoke is a perfect substitute for potatoes. Once they get roasted, they're very tender. They taste just like potatoes. But here's the cool thing. Potatoes have starch in them, which for me, a diabetic, starch is not a great thing. It's generally not a great thing to eat a lot of starchy foods. But the starch in here is called inulin. Inulin is not bad for you like the starch in potatoes. And so inulin does not drive my blood sugar up. It keeps me healthier. And it's also good for non-diabetics too, of course. But there is a challenge with inulin. If you just eat these raw, which I've done, I've eaten plenty of these raw. If you saw our videos with cousin Bowtie Mark, which I'll link at the end of this video or in the description. He and I were snacking on these things a little too much, and by the end we were feeling some gastronomical distress because the human body has trouble processing straight inulin. So it's inulin, I-N-U-L-I-N. So anyway, the cool thing about it though, as soon as you ferment it or cook it, the inulin breaks down enough that the body can process it and you don't get gassy. Yes, I said it, you get gassy if you eat too much of these raw. I am going to be allowing people to try a small piece or two. I think I'm gonna julienne them so that people can try them raw, but I'm not gonna let anyone have more than a piece or two, just to taste. But so once it's cooked or fermented, it's good. It goes through into the body can handle it, the body can digest it, and it makes for a wonderful dish. Now, a little history on this. This is actually a food of the Native Americans. The Native Americans grew these and ate them, and they knew to cook them, and they knew to do stuff with them. They were very healthy with these. So this is a Native American food that you would have seen had you visited this country 400 or 500 years ago in an Indian encampment. So anyway, the last thing here is just a little bit on storage. You can store these a little bit for a day or two in the fridge. They do have a tendency to start getting rubbery, but if you store them in water with just a little bit of lemon in it, they will store a little better. They do oxidize, which means they turn yellow. And if you've ever processed apples, you know that you put a little lemon juice in the water, and your apples will stay the color they're supposed to be longer. And that's what I'm planning on trying with these. I'm going to put them in a couple of Ziploc bags, mainly because we are very limited on space in our refrigerator right now. And I'm going to put a tablespoon of lemon juice and water, and make sure they're completely submerged so they don't oxidize and turn brown before I use them Tuesday. On Tuesday, I will be slicing them, putting them into a casserole dish. We have some garlic powder that we made from garlic scapes. We dehydrated the scapes and ground them up, and we have some wonderful garlic powder. We have some onion powder that we made from our Egyptian walking onions. Watch one of the front and side garden tours, you'll see the Egyptian walking onion patch. And we dehydrated them, ground them into a powder. We also will be putting salt and pepper. And Mrs. Bowtie has a little something special to spritz on the top. What is that, Mrs. Bowtie?
A little bit of cooked bacon.
A little bit of cooked bacon we're going to put on top just for a little extra flavor. And we will be good. We'll cook it just like you do potatoes till they're tender, and then I'll take it to our event, and this will be a food that I'm betting no one has tried before.
And probably some fresh green onions.
And what?
Some fresh green onions.
Oh yeah, I could get some fresh. We have fresh green onion in the garden. So that's it. That's the plan. I'll try to include some video here of the final product. So here we are 3 days later, and the SunChokes in the bag with water and a couple of tablespoons of lemon juice look beautiful. They have not aged at all. They feel just as firm as they did the day we put them in. And we're going to pour these into a bowl, but just to cover what we're going to be doing in this recipe, we're basically doing some roasted SunChokes. Just like you would do roasted potatoes, we're going to be drizzling in a little bit of avocado oil over them. And then we're going to be using some onion powder from our garden. These were dried Egyptian walking onions that we dehydrated and ground. And then garlic powder, which is actually the garlic scapes from the chestnut red garlic plants from last year. And then, of course, just some salt and pepper for season to taste. And so we'll be putting these on a cookie sheet with a piece of parchment paper, because that's what we use a lot of the time, and put them in an oven at 400 degrees, 15-20 minutes. and it should be good to go. But anyway, I've got my mandolin out here. Well, it's at least in a box. And I have decided I'm going to cut them. There is a French fry setting on here. Julienne, I guess. And I'm going to cut it like that and cut any big pieces in half. So they're just real small pieces. It probably will cook pretty quick. So, yeah, let's see how this goes. So, of course, no sponsorship or in here, but this is mandolin we got off of Amazon from Gramercy Kitchen, 3-in-1 adjustable mandolin. We've really enjoyed having a mandolin because we can do all kinds of fancy stuff with it. But anyway, so let's see how this does. That's a good size, I think. This is gonna take a while, obviously. So it's kind of a funky looking tuber, but we got them all processed. We are ready to go and put them in a cooking sheet with parchment paper. Yeehaw! I'm going to save this so people can see what it looks like at our event tonight. Remember, I said I was doing this for the health class tonight. So I'm just going to drizzle it with some olive oil, mix it around, make sure everything gets a good coat, and then spread some seasoning on it. And I'll do this again once I spread the seasoning on it. This onion powder is actually kind of mild, I guess. We've been using it. Mrs. Bowtie has, I have not. But it's actually very good. And it is just onion powder, dehydrated onions. And of course the garlic powder. Woo! Hope that wasn't too much. Mrs. Bowtie is not here to supervise, folks, so yeah, we'll have to see how this goes, see if anyone likes it. I'll put a little bit more of this over here. Now, I am not a person to season with salt, so I literally am kind of lost when it comes to seasoning with salt, Kind of silly, I know, but I am not the chef. Mrs. Bowtie is on her way home from work, but she has to stop and take care of a friend's cat on the way home. So I am literally on my own with you. So you can supervise. Please scream at the camera when I'm doing something terribly wrong. I'm sure I will hear you. I'm going to put these in a 400-degree oven. I did get a modification on the time, 20-25 minutes. I did cut them a little smaller than I think she might have thought I was going to be cutting them. I'm not sure I mentioned the bacon. I may have mentioned it earlier. Mrs. Bowtie did save me some bacon to spritz across the top of these just for a little extra seasoning, which bacon makes everything good, so maybe I'll look like a gourmet chef when this is over. Hee hee. All right, going in the oven, folks. And there we go, preheated oven. We are ready to rock. Ooh. Oh, it's a little moisture on the bottom of those pans sizzling now. So a couple times during the cooking of these, I will stir them a little, flip them a little, and get them, they're obviously not anywhere near ready now. But I do want to get them kind of mixed around a little bit. We're about 5 or 6 minutes, probably 6 or 7 minutes into it now. Basically, I'm trying to make sure they get cooked on both, everything gets cooked on both sides. And with a couple of different attempts at this, hopefully I will catch it all. Oh, they're starting to smell good. But not quite yet. Mrs. Bowtie says they need to caramelize. I know this isn't done yet. So I will stir them again and go again. It's been spatula is kind of floppy, isn't it? It's been I don't know, 16 minutes so far. So I did do a taste test on these just after I flipped them there, and they're still very raw. So yeah, it's going to be a little longer, which is fine because I'm about 45 minutes early. So many of you know I am not the chef of the family, so being a little bit nervous about leaving this in too long. They're actually pretty good. It's been 40 minutes. So Mrs. Bowtie told me it might be 40 minutes, and then when she saw I cut them small, she changed her mind to the shorter time. And there you have it. So we're gonna see how this goes over. So I believe they are done. It's a steaming pile of sunchokes. A little bit of bacon, a little bit of onion powder, a little bit of garlic powder, both from the garden. Salt and pepper, of course not from the garden. If I served that at a church function and never said a thing, people would say, oh, it's potatoes. Doesn't cause their blood sugar to spike though. This is a very different thing. Very healthy thing. Very excited this is cooked. Most people that are going to be there tonight, I'm pretty sure no one has ever tried SunChokes, and if they are, yeah, and I'd actually be surprised that most people have not heard of SunChokes. So I know one of the guys there, the teacher, he actually watches some of my videos. So you guessed wrong, Vaughn. All right, another project down. So this is editing Bowtie Dave. Been working on this video, and I just wanted to report the dish was delicious. And when I started serving it and people started trying it, the most common statement was, oh, potatoes. Oh, how can this not be potatoes? This is what? And then I sat down It was a long, 2 8-foot tables end to end. I sat down right across from one lady who looked at it and said, "Oh, SunChokes." And then it dawned on me, she's the one that gave me the roots in the first place. It was pretty funny. So anyway, total hit, perfect flavor. Even Mrs. Bowtie liked it, and she's pretty scrutinizing when I cook. So anyway, let's get on with the video and get this thing finished. So we've got quite a mess here. I got SunChoke on the floor, and gonna have to do some cleanup here. Any of you people not the cook in your home and your significant other comes home dreading to see what you've done with the place? Well, Mrs. Bowtie's on her way, so I've got about 5 minutes to clean up, and I'll get it clean enough. We won't worry about it. But yeah, thank you for following along today with this healthy alternative food. And again, this, I think I said it somewhere in here, this comes from the Native American Indians, originally called sun root to them. To those of you who have subscribed to Bowtie Life on YouTube, you are my heroes. I thank God for you. I thank God for the growth of the channel and everything that's happening. We've had a great uptick in the viewing times on the videos, and it has really helped grow the channel immensely. It's very exciting to see. We are working hard to grow our channel to that next level. Ooh, that's warm. We are working hard to grow that next level, so we can get, when we get to that point, we'll be able to do so much more. Some of you know what next level means for us. For those of you just finding Bowtie Life, this is my own personal journal of the things going on in the garden. My ADD brain, I've tried journaling, I've tried photography, I've tried several methods of recording what's going on in the garden, and nothing has been as effective for my brain as making these videos and putting them on YouTube. I actually go in and watch these videos a few times a week. When I'm getting ready around here in the morning, I have my videos playing on the TV, and they remind me of things. And I'll be something will be playing, and I'll be like, oh yeah, and I'll go do something. And normally it's a 5-minute job that I can interrupt my morning with and kind of get my ADD distraction out of my system for the morning. So anyway, be sure to subscribe to Bowtie Life on YouTube so you don't miss a thing that's happening in the garden as I document all the important events that go on. Another way you can really help grow the channel, believe it or not, is just to hit the thumbs up on this video. That shows the algorithms that this is a video that gave you some good information, or maybe it was just entertaining. Maybe you just thought it was kind of funny watching me clunk around in the kitchen, which I don't normally do. So be sure to share this with your friends on social media, especially if you have any friends who are diabetic that love potatoes. Trust me, potatoes push up the glucose levels for a diabetic, for everybody, but it's more important for a diabetic not to do that. And so this does not do that. I've actually showed in one of the videos on SunChokes we did with cousin Bowtie Mark, my chart from my, what is this? That's a sensor, a Freestyle Libre 3 sensor that shows the day that we're doing this, and there's one spike, and we actually ate something else. I can't remember what it was, but there was one little spike in that day, and that was it. Everything else we ate that day kept my blood sugar level down real nice and in the green zone. So very good stuff. That's it. Y'all have a blessed day.